Good morning. It's about 4:30. Woke up a little bit ago and are making our pre-workout breakfast here. A little bit of cream of rice with some creamy peanut butter and sugar-free chocolate syrup. Great little pre-workout, fast digesting carb here with the cream of rice. Very cheap too. Really get those muscles fed and activated. And then we've got our pre-workout as well. We had a chest day today. Should be a good one. I'm excited for it. It's fairly warm outside. It's not freezing cold, which is nice. Might not even need a heater today. We'll see. But we'll have some interesting configurations on the home gym setup today, I think. A couple exercises that are cable focused that I have to set up the additional arms for, or rather the safety arms for on the rack to really get the movement down. It's always fun and a bit of an experiment. So that's what we're going to be doing. This current plan is interesting. It doesn't have as much bench press as I'm used to. We've got two bench exercises today. One's a machine exercise, which is fine. That's great. No barbell though. The second one is going to be a barbell exercise, as I don't have a Smith machine in my home gym. It's going to be a close grip bench press. And I think I'm going to use the cambered bar for that to really just hammer the triceps a bit more. So we get a little bit of barbell movement there. Not as much as I maybe prefer, but we're going to put the reps in all the same. It's going to be a brutal workout, and we're just going to hit it head on. If we need to make adjustments in another week or two, maybe get a little bit more barbell movement for the sake of my muscles, or even dumbbell movement, then we'll add that in there. We'll program that in, make the adjustment, keep moving with the rest of the workout. All right, I'm going to clean up, finish this. Let's see you out there. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about these. I like them, but they're difficult to get into, obviously. I mean, it's an odd movement. But more than that, I think it's kind of tricky on my setup at the moment. I certainly haven't nailed it down pat. I probably need to give them at least one more week before I call it quits on these, but I might stick to either single arm cuffed raises, which I love, or an alternative. We're still warming up our chest, elbows. You know, at this point in the exercise, we're not really fully warmed up just yet. So we've got to do some warm-up sets, get all the muscles firing, and really just make sure we don't injure anything in the cold. It definitely takes a bit longer to get warmed up in the cold, but it's just a couple extra sets, and then probably after this exercise, we'll be nice and warmed up for everything else. Now, I've got the arms free swinging from side to side here, which is a lot more like a dumbbell press than it is a true machine press. With a true machine press, you get that stability, that lateral stability, really letting you just push in on the muscles that you're working in that movement. In this case, it would be the bench press, so your pecs. But I really like these when I release them side to side. I think the contraction you feel in the pec is just so much better. The stability is okay still. You still get, I think, I'm going to say half the benefit of the stability, because you're not worried about the weight, jumping all over the place. It can only go side to side, and you're really just pushing it in at that point. Slight angle there really gives a great contraction, as opposed to locking the arms totally in, and the arms are locked out here and they're pushing straight out here. Much more like a barbell in that movement. But I love the contraction this gives. But we'll see, maybe by that last set we're going to be really struggling and we might lock it in. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Not planning for it right now. Let's hit it.
Alright, that was feeling a little bit tougher there, for sure. I lowered the weight even after that first set. I'm going to lower it again, down to 90 on each side, 180. See if we can really smash this last set and not falter before we hit even like 8. I felt like we were faltering a little bit before 8. Rep number 8. Oh, I lied. I forgot I had one more set there. So that was the last set for sure. Whew. A good 9 reps. That was nice. All right, we're gonna move over some cable flies. Definitely too light on that set. We're at 30 right now. We're gonna bump it all the way up to 40, I think. Oh, that felt more like it. This is a nice variation, I think, of pec flies. You know, when you're standing up, sometimes I think, for me at least, it's a lot easier to engage the shoulders. You'd think the same would be true when you're bent over this way. If anything, even more prone to do so. But this variation has always been good to me with regards to just really targeting the pecs. Isolating them and not allowing the shoulders to take over, start working in and doing more work than they really need to be doing. Oh, I'm struggling a bit this morning. I've had a tendency for many years to really pay attention to that clock and the time. When I worked in an office, I would constantly rush to be the first person in the office. I would get there at 7 a.m. every morning or earlier. Sometimes I'd be there by 6:30. Not for any particular good reason either. I was doing exceptionally well, but it wasn't doing me any favors in my personal life, in my pursuit of happiness, in my hobbies. And then I left that job, and my boss, probably the greatest boss I ever had, certainly top 2. You know, he told me one day, he said, "Why are you rushing into the office every day? You don't need to be here this early." Now, mind you, he would get there around 7 a.m., but he did it, he said, because it allowed him to get a little bit more done during the day so he could leave right on time to be home with his family, which I respected. I really do. I still do. But for me, that's not to say I didn't have things to do after work, but he made it very clear, within the first week, which is when that started, that you don't need to be here this early. Just like I'm saying that out loud, kind of thing. And I still did it. I couldn't shake that habit for a really long time. And, now I've worked remote for over 3 years, completely remote, no office to speak of, let alone go into. And so I'm left to my own devices. I start work essentially when I need to and just get it done. And I've earned the trust that comes with that kind of bandwidth, leash, so to speak. So most days, I don't have a meeting probably till 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at the earliest, which is great. Now, during the day and after, I'm busting my butt. And I frequently had meetings and calls at like 6 o'clock at night even. Certainly going a little bit longer and a little bit later. But I didn't really have to be anywhere till 10 o'clock usually. Certainly not in front of my desk. But I would rush. And I remember before having a kid, some days I'd be like in the shower and it would be 7 a.m. Maybe I had taken a little bit longer on a particular exercise. Maybe I just needed, after a really hard leg day, some time on the couch to just like chill for a sec. But, it would get past 7 o'clock in the morning. And I wasn't panicking, but I remember thinking like, man, I used to rush into the office to be there at this time. And here I am standing in the shower. And now I've got a kid, who wakes up around 7 o'clock, sometimes a little earlier, maybe 6:30. And I feel like I gotta rush. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be 6. It's gonna be 6. I gotta finish this up. I gotta cut some exercises. But I don't have to cut exercises. I've got an amazing wife and partner who has explicitly told me, don't worry about it. I've got it. She doesn't need to leave. She works in an office. She doesn't need to leave till after that. So she's told me I can take care of him. I can get him. Don't worry about it. And I also know that if she needs it, if she needs to leave early, she'll communicate that. So I'm having one of those mornings where I keep looking at that clock over there and I keep seeing it count down. Almost 6 now. I don't even know if you can see the clock. Yeah, maybe a little bit. But it's almost 6 now and I just keep like, I'll just cut this exercise. I'll just cut this exercise. And it's always the same ones towards the end of these workouts, these accessory exercises. But we can't cut them. We can't make excuses. I know it's just an excuse. I know my wife has my kid taken care of. He's fine. And at bare minimum, I've got 30 more minutes before he wakes up. I'll be fine. We'll be good. Now, if we can get in position for these overhead tricep extensions, that would be fantastic. Getting into the damn position for this thing on this cable machine is so difficult. Man, what I would do for a selectorized, adjustable cable machine right now. One day soon, we'll have it. Let's crush it. Jesus. Okay, I'm not gonna get that. All right, that was a little easier. I added a little bit of extra cable there. Made it slightly easier, possible I should say, not even easier, it's possible to get this thing into an overhead position. right, that was a bit too much there. I was aiming for a bit of a higher rep range. So we're gonna reduce. We should probably be a little safe here. Don't even have safeties on. Just put some cable clips on at least. Bar clips, rather. That's what we wanted.
Thank you so much to everybody who's been watching these videos, making it to the end of the videos. There wasn't a lot of audio commentary here, so I wanted to record a little bit of that and give you guys a bit of an outro here while I'm doing these cable crunches. So overall, I was quite pleased with this workout, and honestly, the workouts themselves have been going exceptionally well these last couple weeks. One huge benefit that I'm getting from these videos is that I'm able to really watch myself and see and take notes on, you know, what I'm not happy with, what's not maybe moving the way I want it to, maybe where I was not fully extending or getting the full ROM that I thought I was getting in that moment. So these videos have been great for that, and I hope you're enjoying watching them. I hope you're enjoying the commentary. I am definitely reading your comments. There are some of you who are already leaving some pretty insightful pieces of advice in there, and can't thank you enough for, again, not only watching these videos, but taking the time to write out your comments and leave me some feedback. The cable crunches here, as you can see, went pretty swimmingly. A couple sets of those. I've always had a really hard time hitting, I think, a good range of motion with these, but it's an exercise that I don't really think you need a ton of range of motion because I'm still getting quite the abdominal work done here. By the time I finish these exercises, I am wiped, my abs are shot, and I'm not leaving much on the table at all. So pretty pleased overall with how the crunches went, how the rest of this workout went, the bench press, the flies, all of it. This was a great workout. It was a nice, warm-ish day, and I couldn't be, again, more pleased with how it all turned out. Thank you all again so much for tuning in and watching. If you have any comments, any feedback, I welcome that in the comments. This channel is growing. I am learning more day by day. Every video I edit and put together, I'm learning more. So if there's more that you're wanting to see, if there's more things you want me to talk about in particular, leave it down in the comments. Be happy to take that, address it in a next video, in a future video, or whatever comes next. I'll see you soon. Thanks again.